Hello, jury. Welcome back to our Only Slightly Judgy podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Aiden. He's Sean. We are your local cinema podcast where we obsess over all things fiction and media. Today, we have a very special episode for you guys. We decided to. We think it's time we took a break from the MCU and talk about what preceded it, which was Fox's 20th Century Fox's attempt at making a cinematic universe for none other than the X-Men. Um, if you don't know, back when Disney was poor, they wanted to make adaptations, but they didn't have the money to, so they sold the rights of characters, so that other studios could make those movies, and that included selling the X-Men to Fox, where they could use all the mutant stuff and do whatever they wanted with that, right? And that resulted in some pretty good movies, a lot of not so good movies. So that is what we are here to talk about today. Um, I think I've talked extensively about how big of an X-Men fan I am. Sean, would you like to input on that?
Um, I'm definitely not familiar with the X-Men from the comics, almost at all. So like, before Deadpool and Wolverine came out in 2024 was when I started looking into the Fox X-Men universe as a whole. And surprisingly, considering like, I guess it is filled with nostalgia for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And even considering that, it's not even the worst offshoot Marvel Cinematic Universe attempt. It's not remotely the worst
That's
one.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So I think some hits, a lot of misses, but all in all, let's just like break it down for everyone today.
I think there's a lot. There's also a lot of nostalgia factor for me playing into like these movies, because like this is the things that I was watching growing up. So I'm quite impartial to that, but then it's because when I started reading X-Men comics, I love X-Men comics so much more that I'm like, it sucks we never got a very, very good adaptation of mutants, which is by far my favorite IP of comics. So, yep. Let's start this off by doing a little bit of a ranking of the Fox X-Men universe. We decided that we don't want to bore you guys with another tier list, so we decided to just rank these. Sean, you want to go first?
Oh, me? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, this is like, there's almost no nostalgia for me in this, and I watched it all 2 years ago in the span of like 2 weeks. So we'll just go from the bottom for this one. Right at the lowest, we have X-Men Origins Wolverine, followed. We get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah, followed.
Yeah. Go on.
followed pretty closely by X-Men The Last Stand and also The Wolverine. And then a bit higher than that, we have the original X-Men, followed by X-Men Apocalypse. And then I would say this is where the gap starts to widen a bit, because the next one I put was X2, followed by First Class, and then a tie between both Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2. I think it depends on the day. And then after that, in second place would be Logan, and in first place, of course, none other than Days of Future Past.
So just checking, how many do you have on your list?
It's
'Cause I have a
11.
feeling-
I didn't watch Dark Phoenix
Oh.
and New Mutants. I forgot to
Okay,
mention
okay.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no wonder I was like,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Uh, yeah. I think I mostly agree with that. Um, we can just put it into comparison. My list, I've watched all of them. Starting from the bottom. From the bottom, my bottom is actually X-Men Apocalypse. I have X-Men Apocalypse, followed by the New Mutants, followed by The Last Stand, followed by Dark Phoenix, Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, and then Deadpool 2, Logan, X-Men, Deadpool, First Class, X2, and Days of Future Past. So we have the same number one. Wait, what's your number two?
It's Logan. I was gonna say Logan.
It's
surprisingly-
Logan.
sup-
Oh,
it's
okay.
surprisingly middle on your list.
Yes, and I think like, but honestly, everything above Logan on my list is just premier kind of thing. Like, I think Logan was good, but for me, I think when I watch Logan, it's just the effect of too much Wolverine fatigue. So I'm just like, eh. But Logan is still a fantastic movie. Like, it's still really, really, really good. The one thing I don't like about Logan is the X-24 thing. I'm not a. Is it X-24? I don't remember.
Like
The
you mean
clone of him.
The clone, yeah. I forgot
Yeah,
the name. but
The bald clone of him. I think it's X-24. Yeah, I wasn't a very big fan of that. I didn't really like that. I like the world though. The world's very fun. And what's her name? I forgot the actress's name already. But
Daphne
whoever
Keane.
plays Laura. Yes, Daphne
Yeah.
Keane. Daphne Keane's very good as Laura. Yeah. Um, let's go one by one for your list. What's your bottom
For
again?
mine, it's Origins, Last
Okay.
Stand, and Wolverine. I think.
Origins, Last Stand, and
Yeah,
The Wolverine.
the Wolverine. Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's a fine bottom
As I was
part of the
making the
list.
list, it was honestly pretty hard for me to tell what the 2 hours were used for in Origins and the Wolverine. Like from both of these, I only remember obviously the opening scene with like Sabretooth when they were young, and also the terrible Deadpool. And then for the Wolverine, I only remember the parts that happened in Japan. Everything else is kind of forgettable for me.
Okay, I gotta do good things about Origins Wolverine. Okay, the entire opening scene, which is basically his origin story, where he got his powers, how he got his powers, and then that war montage of him and Victor Creed, of them doing that. That shows how long they've lived. I really really like that. I think that's really good. That's why I think they should make like a Wolverine series where it's just him throughout history, and then by like season 2 it catches up to like present day. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's besides the point. What's another good thing about Origins Wolverine? Sabretooth. Sabretooth is good. I don't know why he's not Harry, but that's fine, I guess. I think Leaf Schreiber is a really, really good Sabretooth. Um, Ryan Reynolds' Wade Wilson is quite good. Wasn't quipping as much as I would like him to. Um, but yeah, we get more of that in Deadpool, obviously. But yeah, yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
which is the one that had,
That's it.
which is the one that had Gambit? Was it Origins or the Wolverine?
Origins.
Origins. It was. I would say it was an okay Gambit. I would even say it was a better Gambit than it was a Deadpool.
Better Gambit than Channing.
No, I mean like the Gambit there was better than the Deadpool from there.
Oh. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. At the end that wasn't even Deadpool. That was some weird Weapon X like amalgamation or something. But no, Gambit. Okay, here's something I'm gonna say now so that I don't say it later, right? I think what's very important when you do something like X-Men and mutants is power signatures. Because people can do telekinesis or telepathy and things like that. But if there's no power signature, you don't know who's doing what. That's why in X-Men comics, each character has like a specific color attached to them, right? Jean is like blue, and then Charles is like yellow, and then it's like Kid Omega is pink. Like they have specific colors that are allocated to specific characters so that you know who's doing what, right? That's the issue with Gambit, because Gambit usually has his usual pink purple glow of his cards, right? Yeah, in the movie his cards were just on fire. And like that's the bare minimum. And I thought that was meh. Also not enough use of his bow staff, I felt. But oh well.
Yeah, I was mostly going by like personality. I think it's an
Yeah.
okay attempt at Gambit.
Personality is fine.
Yeah.
No accent though, which is a bit jarring, honestly. Especially if you read X-Men comics, then it's like even when you're reading it, you can hear the accent. You know what I mean? But yeah, Origins Wolverine was a very big mess. The Wolverine's the Japan one, right?
Yes, Japan, and that the part where he's in the village is actually all I remember about the Wolverine, and the part where he fights his way out of like the dojo, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like the whole love interest thing he had with whatever her name is, Silver
no
Samurai's
idea.
granddaughter. Um, I don't like how much Jean there was. There was so much Jean in that movie. Did not like that. You look like you don't remember.
I don't remember there was Jean at all.
He has a lot of like dreams and
Was
like
it visions?
flashback things.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of visions of Jean and stuff like that. Too much. Not like stop. Silver Samurai, the suit was good. The character was not. Viper was there for some reason. I don't see the connection. Yukio is weird. The only good thing is the suit in the post credit scene. When he opens the briefcase, then that's the yellow and black suit with like the mask and everything.
I feel like I do.
Yeah, like they did that, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, they finally got the suit!" And then he proceeded to never wear it. So, yeah, yeah.
I've
But I
very
think
little
the
to say.
Wolverine is still better than Origins for me.
It is better, just slightly, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's one of the rewatchable ones, if that makes sense. I think that there's better bad movies on this list.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your next one? Last Stand, is it?
X-Men and oh wait no, Last Stand was in between both of the Wolverines. Yeah, Last Stand.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Last Stand. What do you think about Last Stand?
It's a hot mess, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a hot mess. I think if they weren't going to wrap up the trilogy and like not continue at all, I feel like they could have gone for a better conclusion than that. It felt like I don't really have much to say because Dark Phoenix, for some reason, the Fox creators were really obsessed with Dark Phoenix over the course of their run. I think even as someone who's not familiar with the comic storylines, I think there are better storylines to choose from, and like more interesting ones at least, because Wolverine and Jean dynamic has been a focus for the whole three original movies, I think. What do you think?
Yes. I can tell, like, Last Stand is messy, yes. I can tell you why it's messy. It's because they're trying to do too many things at the same time. They are taking inspiration from 3 separate big X-Men events. And they decided, hey, instead of taking inspiration, let's just do all 3 at the same time. For some reason. No. And like they had so many characters that are called a certain mutant, and that mutant has a specific set of powers, but for some reason they don't have that power. Like Kid Omega in that movie. Kid Omega is meant to be an Omega level telepath, and he can conjure like constructs and stuff. Like he usually conjures like kinetic guns that he can shoot bullets from. That's Kid Omega, and he has that iconic like pink-haired mohawk. The Kid Omega in this movie has spikes on his body that he can shoot out. Why? Why? Why, Bryan Singer? Why? Yes, no, this movie is very problematic. Like, I thought they were gonna use Angel more, but he's literally like in 2 scenes in the entire movie. So
I was just gonna say that Angel is really pointless in this. He doesn't even get involved in a lot of the group scenes, and he doesn't become part of the group either. He's just there to have like setting up his conflict with his powers, and then he just resolves it in the next time he appears.
Bro, I don't get it. Angel is a founding X-Men member. Like, what? Ugh. Yeah, Last Stand. Ugh, gross. Good things about Last Stand: Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen. Done.
Wait, which were the 3 storylines that they pulled from, since you mentioned it just now?
It's Dark Phoenix, the Cure storyline, and what's the third one? I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen Last Stand, which is probably a good thing. God Loves Man Kills, I think. Wait, no, that's X2. I can't think of it right now. It might be something from Grant Morrison's New X-Men, something like that. But yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress.
The
Let's move
next
on to the
ones-
next one.
The next
yeah.
ones I put were Apocalypse or Original X-Men. I think.
Clearly, because I have Apocalypse at the bottom of my list, I have very, very big beef with X-Men Apocalypse. Before I get into the beef, good things about X-Men Apocalypse. Magneto is cool, and that's a good thing. Psylocke looked really, really good. I'm trying to think of what else. Nightcrawler was really, really good.
I would say the opening with the whole Egypt stuff. I'm not sure how accurate the lore it is, but I thought that was really cool.
That's fine. Oh, the Magneto thing. him raising his family, and then he saves the guy at work from dying, and then they find out, oh, he's a mutant. The police surround him, and then someone shoots an arrow, and then it kills both his wife and daughter. That's good. I like that scene because it ends with him saying, "Why do I kill everything I touch?" Like that is such a Magneto line. Really, really good. Michael Fassbender carries. But yeah, that's all the good things for that. Yeah, for me. What about you?
I was just waiting for you to go into the beef because I think pretty much everything
Oh,
you said I agree with. The Magneto parts are absolutely the best parts of the movie, and when it comes to the part where they actually have to fight Apocalypse, I think that is really underwhelming.
correct. I feel like for me this is the equivalent of the underusage of Ultron in the MCU. It's the equivalent of that, right? Ah, man. Apocalypse was done so badly. I think Oscar Isaac really tried, and if we wanted to, honestly, I would give him a second chance if he wanted it. The issue was, Apocalypse is so small. He's tiny in the movie. I think he's shorter than all his horsemen for some reason. Like, Apocalypse is meant to be huge. Apocalypse is like 9 feet minimum. Like, he's meant to tower over everyone. Like, obviously, he has like size manipulation, so he can manipulate his size and stuff. But like, I don't know why they made him so small. Why didn't they just CG him up? I don't know. Weird. I really didn't really care for a lot of the new X-Men. So like, except Nightcrawler. Um, didn't really like how they did Jean. Didn't how they did Scott was fine, I guess. I don't have a very big opinion on Ty Sheridan. Just that he didn't do enough to be a Scott for me. Storm was done absolutely terribly. Angel or Archangel was done absolutely terribly. Yeah, yeah. That's my main beef. I just no, absolutely not. Just a bad adaptation.
It's just for butchering characters across the board.
Yeah,
Across the
yeah,
board. I see.
yeah.
I hope they do better with Apocalypse in 97 season 2. It's supposed to be soon, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's a big part of that.
Also, something I will note with just for like the timeline reboot, right? The Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy's cast the characters. I don't. I think the approach of making Mystique a good guy and like training the young ones, I think that's an interesting approach. I don't think it's one that works, especially with her fate in Dark Phoenix. But like, I don't know. That's not Mystique for me. That is just not Mystique. That's just Jennifer Lawrence playing a character. Never strike me as Mystique, because Mystique would never do that. Mystique will never do something if it doesn't benefit her. Yeah. Next one.
Original X-Men 2000.
Or X-Men
Yeah, that
2000.
one, the first one. Um,
I think this one's okay for the most part. I think this one's pretty good. This one's my number 5.
oh, yeah, so like middle range, I think.
Yeah, middle range.
Yeah. The biggest sin it commits is probably just the costumes and being scared of committing to the look. I think it's also my first introduction to like Rogue as a character in general. I actually did not know she existed before watching this. Yeah, so I was a bit confused at first. I think the cast of X-Men that they use seems pretty standard to me. Like, these are pretty basic, pretty safe characters to use. I think Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, obviously a very, very good duo.
Ian McKellen is such a good Magneto. I think he's really, really good. He nails like the presence of Magneto. Magneto always looking to make a speech, always, and 100% of the time, Magneto's speeches will always be cool. And Ian McKellen brings a certain stage presence. I think because he's a stage actor.
Yeah, he does.
Like, yeah, he's a theater actor. So like, there's a certain level of like, what's the word?
Gravitas.
Yeah, kind of in a way.
Yeah.
He talks a lot like, well, if you didn't, like he talks a lot that way, which I think is a very uniquely theater thing. But I can get behind that.
I think he and Patrick Stewart just play off each other very well, and
Yeah.
since that's a core dynamic of the movie, it's essential. I think the villain side characters are kind of underused, especially you have like they have Toad. Who else do they have?
Toad, Sabretooth. I think the Sabretooth was okay. It was Toad, Sabretooth, Mystique, and Magneto. That's it.
Well, that
That's
was
the
it.
Brotherhood.
That was it. I see. Yeah,
Very, very small Brotherhood, but Brotherhood
yeah.
nonetheless.
It's just if they had committed more to it, it would have been a pretty solid X-Men movie, just perfectly middle range. I think the core cast has a pretty strong dynamic, but then that is not built upon much later on, so it's pointless anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, another thing. I think Rogue's arc of because Rogue has a very like tragic ability because she can't physically touch anyone because she will drain them of their essence, right? And I think the road that we'll get into X2 a bit more later, but like the road that's paved from X-Men 1 to X2 is like she's learning to adjust in a way that like her not being able to touch people doesn't mean she can't love people. That's the arc that they're trying Rogue to do, right? But then in the Last Stand, she goes and gets the cure. That's another thing I don't like about Last Stand because it ruins Rogue's entire arc. But yeah. What's next on your list?
A tie between First Class and X2. I think both are really really good. This is where it starts to get very good. Everything is pretty much interchangeable for me.
Personally, I put X2 above First Class, but it is very close. But man, even though I really, really love First Class, it has so many flaws. It has insane amount of flaws. What do you think?
I think it's something that I just want to love because first of all,
Yeah.
it being a reboot, it's a pretty bold direction to take a complete reboot, and I think for the most part they do pull it off well. I think the main cast is lovable, the side cast of the heroes are pretty forgettable. But I
Yeah.
think like James McAvoy and what's his name?
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, both of them pretty much carry the whole movie. It's even more about their like brotherhood than the previous movies, which is saying a lot. I think without them, it would have probably fallen apart. So I do enjoy it a lot.
I agree. One thing, I will never forgive Matthew Vaughn for killing Darwin like that. That is not how Darwin works. He clearly does not know what that character does. Like Darwin can't just die. Like that goes against what Darwin is supposed to be. But okay. What else? What else about this movie? I don't like Emma Frost in this movie. Like, I think they missed the point of what Emma Frost is. They took how she looks in comics and like, aha, that must be her character. The one that is always using her looks to get what she wants. The one who is like they turned her to a sex object, for lack of a better word. Which I don't like. Because Emma's fashion is only a testament to how she likes to present herself, which is confident, which is dominant, and that's what helps her win over a space. She doesn't have to be like I know sex sells, but like that's not what Emma does. I think they missed the point of Emma. I don't really like Kevin Bacon as Sebastian Shaw. I think he's a meh Shaw, but yeah, that's my take.
I think for me, it's just that the side characters like Darwin and his whole gang are just pretty much underused. They're just there to probably show like the severity of the threat. There was even like Zoe Kravitz in there, wasn't it? Yeah.
To be fair, the young mutants that they recruit in that movie, there is a quite interesting batch of characters, and they're done pretty well. I think Havoc is done okay. Actually, yeah, Havoc is done pretty well. Banshee is done pretty well, although it kind of bothered me that Banshee wasn't Irish. Who else did they have? They had obviously Mystique. They had Hank McCoy. I think Hank got blue too fast. I think they could have waited a movie for that. But yeah, That's just my opinion.
I feel like Hank was okay because if they hadn't had him be blue in this, then Days of Future Past would have been a bit strange.
Yeah, that is fair. That is true.
Hank was okay. I like him. I think it's just really solid. The final fight with the submarine or the warship or something, that was really good. It has decent music also.
Yeah. Honestly, you know that scene on the beach where Eric like stops the missiles and he turns them around, and then Xavier says, "Don't do this. They're innocent. They're just men following orders." I think if he didn't say men following orders, I think Eric would have listened to him. But it's because he said they're just men following orders. That's what made Eric throw the missiles back.
I think
it's because men following orders is what he experienced during the Holocaust as well.
It's such a pitfall though, it's such a writing trap where every time you have something like war crime related, someone's going to pull out the "I was just following orders," and then the resolution of that is really obvious.
Yeah,
I think.
But while I think that is a bit of a flaw there, I still think that's true to Charles's character, because Charles truly believes that humanity is good, and that he can work with humanity. That's what he truly believes. But if you read X-Men comics, you realize that that's never going to happen. That it's a fantasy essentially. But yeah. What do you have next?
I put X2 here. Honestly, it would be 5th place on my hypothetical list. X2 is just, I think it's really solid. I love Brian Cox, Logan Roy. Obviously, he plays a really good. I'm missing the name, but he plays a really solid villain.
Yeah.
And it's also the X-Men movie that has the most straightforward plot, I think, with the X-Men all working together.
Yeah.
There's very little complications, there's very little additions of new characters. It's just a straightforward, one-dimensional adventure with the characters that we have grown to love. I think they do that really, really well.
I agree. It's a really good God Loves Man Kills adaptation, which is like the whole William Stryker thing. And I don't know if you know this, but in the comics, William Stryker isn't a scientist. He's a reverend. Meaning that he uses like his religious congregation to turn them against mutants. And that's the whole crux of God Loves Man Kills. But in this movie, they change him around to a scientist and then they add him to Wolverine's backstory. That's not necessarily what happens, but I think it works. While it's not a great adaptation, I think it still does the same thing in which it... Because they obviously wanted it to be Wolverine-centric, right? So they had to make that change. Yeah, I like the whole X-Men working together thing as well. Dude, Nightcrawler is so good in this movie.
Nightcrawler's really good.
The opening scene of him in the White House, the ending scene where he teleports them into the Oval Office, that's so cool.
I think it's just a really good intersection because X-Men are always going to be at the center of I guess you could say politics in universe, where them existing is just, it upsets the balance of power. So having them directly interact with the powers that be is a really good choice.
Yeah, I agree. It's the premier civil rights movement kind of story, which I love.
In Marvel Universe, yeah, it is.
Yeah. What's next?
Both Deadpool's tied. Like I said, it depends on the day for me.
Both Deadpool's tied.
I would usually say Deadpool 1 over Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I put Deadpool 1 over Deadpool 2 as well. But my main issue with the Deadpool movies are the villains. I think the villains are very, I don't know, unconvincing. I think Ajax is the most low stakes villain ever. Like he had no threat whatsoever.
His name
but
is
okay,
Francis.
but his name is Francis. To be fair, it is very difficult to pick a core antagonist for a Deadpool movie. It's very difficult because Deadpool just goes off doing his own thing most of the time. So I get that it's very difficult to pick. But yeah, I think Ajax worked. Like I said, he's low stakes. I think the makeup on Ryan Reynolds looks amazing. Like that's so good. That's all practical as well. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I'll say Deadpool 1 is just a really good showcase of what I think Deadpool is as a character. It's straightforward. It's also really grounded. I think literally the only elements that aren't street level are probably just Colossus and his gang. And I like that they use this like side roster of X-Men instead of the main roster, so that Deadpool gets a chance to shine
Yeah.
in his own thing. I think for me the only thing that sets Deadpool 1 and 2 apart is the fact that I think 2 gets lost in the sauce a bit, where they throw in a lot of powers, a lot of famous characters, and that kind of throws it off balance a bit, where it stops being about Deadpool.
I think Deadpool 2 was because I think Ryan Reynolds really, really, really wanted an X-Force story. I think that's why. Um, that's why he pulled in the two other main members of X-Force from the comics, which is Cable and Domino. Um, I think the X-Force scene from Deadpool 2 is really funny. It's the craziest thing ever, but it's such a Deadpool thing, right? Like he gathers this whole team together and then they all die. Like that is fantastic. I love that. And they're all like really really obscure, like mutant characters as well, which is crazy. Um, that's that. You know what my favorite line from Deadpool 2 is? He's like, when Shatterstar walks in and he's like, I'm basically better at you at everything, and then Deadpool turns to TJ Miller and he's like, what does he say? For once I'd like to be better at everybody at something. Just go there, be their Superman or something. And then TJ Miller says, isn't that just Canada? You shut your goddamn mouth. It's so funny because it's so Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 has a really good Juggernaut, I think. I'm not sure if it's accurate. I think he's really fun in that. I like Cable also. Didn't quite love the antagonist, like the other antagonist.
Yeah. The pedophile headmaster.
Yeah, I think that was kind of pointless. Yeah.
My one gripe about this Juggernaut. Okay, for one, I love that he's CGI. I think that's good. That's what Apocalypse missed out on. I love the helmet. But my one gripe is that I don't like the way that he talks. Like, I think it's because it's by proxy of it being a Deadpool movie. Juggernaut won't really make those kind of jokes. Also, he doesn't talk that way. Juggernaut talks with purpose. Like, you're gonna need a very specific character for Juggernaut to be able to banter. Juggernaut doesn't banter with most people. In recent issues, the only person that Juggernaut banters is Magic, and that's because they both can take each other in a fight. Juggernaut will only banter with someone that he respects can take him down in a fight. But yeah, that's just spec knowledge. That's not important at the end of the day. But yeah, it's these details that I like. So.
On to next one. Next one I put was Logan in second place, and then for you it was kind of in the middle, right? But I think Logan is really well made. Because watching all the movies in the span of like 2 weeks means that you could see that Wolverine's arc progress from X-Men back to its origins to the very end of Logan. I think it's good progression. It's also well shot, well made. Like not the quality you expect from a superhero movie, especially not a Fox one.
Yeah. Like, I think this was like their attempt at doing something that broke the style that they've been doing for the past 19 years. I think Logan came out in like 2018, 2017. Yeah, so for the past like 17 years. I think that was smart because I think Logan definitely did extremely well. A lot of people love Logan. I will express a little bit of disappointment because watching the trailer for Logan, I'm like, oh, this is an old man Logan story with X-23 put in. I can get behind this. And then it was nothing like old man Logan, so I was like, okay. But I think Logan still manages to hold up to this day because of the liberties that they took. This is the only time that I will say liberties that you take from the source material actually work well. Like the whole thing about him losing his healing factor because of his old age, and then I think the world is built very, very well in Logan, and that's why X-23 is so good. Like Daphne Keane was incredible as X-23, so I really like that.
I think I love the fact that a lot of the like you said, stuff with the world was slowly revealed through like radio, news, stuff like that before you
Yeah.
finally get the full explanation of what happened with like Professor X and the rest of the team. That was good stuff. And I actually like pretty much everything with Xavier in this. I'm not sure if that happens
Yes.
in Old Man
Same.
Logan.
It doesn't, but I really like it.
Hmm. I think it's poetic that, in the sense that after the X Men are completely wiped off the face of the Earth, the remaining members are like the founder, the immortal one, and like a bunch of randoms.
That's something that I like in every possible future of the X-Men, whether they lose, whether they win, whether they lose badly, it will always be Logan at the end. Because he's the one that survives the longest, and Logan is always the one that will uphold the ideology of the X-Men till the very end of time. And that's a concept that I like. Yeah. And our number ones are the same. Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's so good. I did not expect Days of Future Past to be that good. It's really, really good. Um, I think, there were a couple of changes that they made. Like in the normal Days of Future Past, Kitty is the one that goes back, but this time it's Logan because Logan centric. Um, yeah, I think my favorite scene in that whole movie is Charles and Eric in the plane, where where he was like, where Charles is like, you abandoned me, Eric. Then Eric starts listing off mutant names that have died, and he goes, "Where were you, Charles? Where were you when your own brothers and sisters needed you?" Like, I think that's really, really powerful, and they really nailed the dynamic between the two of them, especially in this movie. Another thing I like about this movie is, uh, when Charles touches Logan to see his memories, the first thing he says is "You poor, poor man," and that is really, really accurate, and I really, really love that. I still tear up at that. Like, it's so good.
I think by far the best part of the movie for me is like the sort of conversation between like young Charles and future old Charles. That's incredible. I think superhero adventures with time travel are usually strange, and then superhero adventures with like politics and a strong central message are also hit and miss. But this somehow manages to do both really, really well. I think just from the starting, where you have like the Sentinels and all the future X-Men, that alone was cool enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the movies. What is your takeaway from the Fox franchise? Like, conclusion in general.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can do that while you think. Um, my conclusion is there's too much Wolverine. I think it was a day one mistake to make Wolverine the central character. By all means, it worked well. I mean, at some parts, it worked well, and I think that's part of the reason why it kind of failed towards the end, because they're still trying to make everything Logan centric. Like, they had to change so much in order to keep the Logan centric track, right? I think there's too much Wolverine. Like, I think at the end of the day, yes, there's so much nostalgia with Wolverine. I think I really, really have Wolverine fatigue. Like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I will never forgive Fox for making Cyclops a side character. Never forgive that sidelining. Cyclops is so much more than that. I think there's a very strange. I think it was a very strange choice for them to do a soft prequel reboot with the new cast. I think it worked well initially, but obviously ended badly. Why? Both the original trilogy and the soft reboot prequels ended badly. Why? Because they both rushed Dark Phoenix. Like, how do you do that once and then it ends badly and you're like, hey, why don't we do it again? There are so many good X-Men stories that don't have to be Dark Phoenix. My theory is that because Dark Phoenix was such a very, very big event in the original X-Men animated series in the 90s, that's why they wanted to make Dark Phoenix so badly. But the thing is, the difference is the animated series did Dark Phoenix efficiently and well, and they built it up over a very, very long period of time. Like, I think at the end of the day, we can take so many lessons on how to do X-Men and how to bring justice to those characters. We can take those lessons from the original animated series. We can take those lessons from X-Men '97, which they've obviously applied there. So that's my 2 cents.
I think for me, seeing it all listed out like this, they could have. I don't think it's their fault for having Jean and Logan be the central dynamic for X-Men 2000, but I think it could have benefited from switching to a new central team or like a core pair every movie or at most every 2 movies, because like from what limited knowledge I have, I think X-Men is defined a lot by the relationships between not only popular pairings but also like the offshoot groups and stuff.
Yes.
So instead of having, I'm pretty sure it was not the first guy's intention to have everything be Logan. It's just because of how successful it was. Even the budget that they had for spin-offs, they decided to spend it on Wolverine twice, like recounting the bad ones. I think the budget that they used to hire Hugh Jackman alone, they could have maybe done something like to my knowledge in the comics, X-Men always has a lot of offshoot groups. You have Uncanny, Exceptional, Amazing, stuff like that. I think that could have been explored more, since you're going to throw in 4 to 5 new side characters, good guys every movie. You might as well like take some time to develop them outside without the shadow of the main cast. I think that would have been a good approach. But I like how stuff is shaping up back again with 97 obviously, and rumors of like live action mutants.
Yeah. Something I want to add on to that is, if you are adapting X-Men, I don't think there shouldn't be a main character. Don't pick someone as the main character. The X-Men is and always has been a family. It has always been about a collective of people. It has always been about the analogy of a civil rights movement. That is what it's all about. That's the core of the X-Men. That's the core of mutants. And it's something that has to, at the end of the day, be shown or portrayed. Yeah. So, looking at the future, we are potentially getting that X-Men live action movie. I hope that's going to be in a rebooted MCU, hopefully, because that will make the most sense. Let's address the elephant in the room. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey.
We're getting a trailer for Brand New Day tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. Like, they're
Great.
dropping
Cool.
like 2-second clips of it every hour, something like that. So the idea is that it's supposed to piece it together, but I think the final product will be
Great.
tomorrow. There have been like a few clips that pop up already. Like,
Oh yeah, I saw
recording.
one of him of the it's the replica of the comic cover.
Yeah, it's practically
Of
just
him
like a
swinging,
GIF.
yeah.
It's crumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a GIF. I doubt she'll be in there because like
Yeah.
speculation about her role has been driving the marketing. As Jean though,
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Okay, we've talked about Sadie Sink a lot, so I think I just wanted to brush over it really quickly. So, in a new X-Men reboot, who are we casting as our main set of characters? I've prepared a couple of casts. Do you have any, or do I just rattle off mine?
you can just go.
Okay. First thing I thought about is it would be really cool to have a founding X-Men team. What does that look like? It has Scott Summers Cyclops, Jean Grey Phoenix, Jean Grey Marvel Girl, Bobby Drake Iceman, Warren Worthington Angel, and Hank McCoy Beast. This will be Beast before Blue Fur. Because if you guys didn't know, Beast Blue Fur isn't a product of his mutation. It is the product of a science experiment gone wrong. Yes. So currently who I have as my Cyclops is Patrick Schwarzenegger. If you don't know who that is, by the name alone, this is Arnold's son. He was also most recently, he played Golden Boy in the season 1 of Gen V, the Boy spin-off. And he is definitely my Cyclops. his strong leadership role head first can be really, really annoying, which is something that Scott needs to be. And man has a jawline that can cut paper. Everything I want. What do you think?
I think I never really made the connection until you said it. Like the moment you said his name, I remembered Golden Boy. I think for what it's worth, yeah, it'll probably work. Wait, just as a side question, how is your ideal like Cyclops starting costume? Does it have the strap through the middle?
Um, Depends on what way do we want to go. If we want to go like the hardcore founding X-Men way, then it's the standardized black and yellow, uh, with like the overhead mask kind of thing. Is that leotard? But if we're just doing normal Cyclops, then yes, it's with the yellow sash, it's with the yellow belt, the yellow boots, blue suit, visor. Um, well, okay, I have a bit of a this is a very extreme side note, but I have a bit of a issue with like, you know how there are some Cyclops designs where he has the entire suit over his head, and but then sometimes it's just his hair and the visor. Yeah, yeah. I actually prefer the hair and the visor. I don't really like the
Yeah, I think
overhead
I'll
thing.
agree.
Yeah,
It's a nicer silhouette. Yeah.
yeah, it looks nicer, and Cyclops' hair flowing in the wind is pretty cool. But yeah, Patrick Schwarzenegger is my Cyclops. My Jean Grey is Abigail Cohen. Now, Abigail Cohen hasn't been in much. The one thing of note that she's been in is the really terrible Wings Club live action on Netflix. Yeah, it's really bad. But I first came across Abigail Cohen when I was scrolling on social media and I saw, haha, let's live action cast Invincible. And then for Adam Eve, it was Abigail Cohen. And I'm like, So I looked into her and I was like, I watched a couple of her performances and I'm like, she would make a really, really good Jean. Because she's very like maternal, she's very like, but she's also very headstrong and like isn't afraid of like calling people out and stuff like that. And I think that's very Jean. So I very much like Abigail Cohen for that. Um, Next one. Oh, I have a very unconventional cast for Beast for Hank McCoy. I have Alan Tudyk. Um, Alan Tudyk is known for a lot of voice work.
Voice work, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. K2SO from Star Wars.
And a lot of stuff in like James Gunn stuff. I think Clayface,
Yeah.
GI Robot, among others.
Yes, GI Robot. No. GI Robot is Sean Gunn. Alan Tudyk is Dr. Phosphorus.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Alan Tudyk is Dr. Phosphorus. But Alan Tudyk is a man that has a ton of range. Like, if you see the differences in his Clayface in Harley Quinn the show and in Creature Commandos, like, that difference is absolutely insane. Alan Tudyk has range. I think Alan Tudyk would be a really, really good Beast. Because I think Beast should be a, haha, Eureka guy. I think that's how she should sound. I think Alan Tudyk can do that. And he can also pull off a more serious Beast down the line, which is why I like him for that. Who would you imagine for a Beast? Do you have one in mind?
Not really, because I think his scientist form and his blue form can require a bit different portrayals. There's
Yeah,
one guy. There's
that's
one guy I like for Beast. I think it's, I have no idea who his name is, but he was one of the cast members in the Saturday Night movie. If you want to Google that.
Saturday Night Movie?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the movie?
Saturday Night. It's about SNL.
Oh,
It's just
SNL.
Saturday Night. That's the movie. It was like 2025, I think. There's this,
Saturday Night.
like, if you go down the cast list, there's this kind of grumpy looking guy who could play either like a really short Logan or Beast blue form, if you ask me. It's not strong.
Saturday Night 2024 film.
Yeah.
Biographical comedy drama.
Go down the cast list.
Gabriel LaBelle. Kenan Thompson?
Oh, you know what? I could just let you know later. I really can't think of like the guy's name or like the character he plays.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
Let's just move along.
I'm just gonna continue rattling off. So if you have any people, actors in mind, then just shout them out. I also have Justice Smith for Iceman. Um, what did he do? He was the main guy in Detective Pikachu. He was the Simon the Sorcerer in the D&D movie. He was recently in the latest Now You See Me movie.
He was in.
Uh,
I think I saw the TV Glow. I think that was him. So,
yes,
yeah,
that was him. I saw the TV clip. Yes. Uh, yeah, I think Justice Smith is really, really good for Iceman, especially considering Bobby's one of the most central parts of Bobby's character arc is his coming out story. And I think it's very important to cast an actor who has gone through the same thing, or like rather can portray that in a realistic way. That's why I chose Justice Smith. Also because I think he's a really, really good actor that can pull off Bobby's confidence yet also insecurity at the same time, which I really like. And lastly, I have Angel as Will Poulter. Now I know the man is already Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But we are never seeing that Adam Warlock ever again, likely. So I think he's a really, really good cast for Angel. Not just because he's British, but I think Will Poulter can really play that charming kind of leader kind of thing. It's kind of like his what's his name? Gary from Maze Runner. Or honestly Luca from The Bear. I think all these performances are very much like Angel. So I really like that. Uh yeah. I have a lot more, but any characters that you personally would have a cast for?
Not at the moment. I think I'm not a huge fan cast guy. And like
Okay, that's
the
fine.
age range that you would need a new X-Men roster to be are like people I'm not really familiar with.
Yeah. I think they want to cast a young X-Men, which is why I'm picking mostly people on the younger side. And I think a younger X-Men works because these are people that you want to use in the long run as well. Oh, let me talk about my Charles and my Magneto. Obviously, how did I miss that? My Charles is Ralph Fiennes, Voldemort himself. I think Ralph Fiennes pulls off incredible performances. The man, again, insane range. I think he can pull off Charles. And my Magneto opposite Ralph Fiennes is Jason Isaacs, Lucius Malfoy. I'm picking two Harry Potter people. It's not related to Harry Potter, but like I genuinely think Jason Isaacs would be such a good Magneto. Just like from everything that he's played. What was that one movie where he played a Nazi? I don't remember. There was one movie where he played a Nazi, and then there's this scene where he walks into a room with a bunch of guests and he's like, ha 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 ha, smiling and laughing with them. But the minute he exits the room, he's like, kill that guy. And then like that kind of shift, that's what I want from Magneto. So yeah. I have a bunch more, but one thing I want to talk about is I actually don't have a cast for Wolverine. I genuinely don't. Like, I think Wolverine's a really, really hard character to cast, because there's like no one that would be really, really good for the role. There are people who would be adjacently good for the role. People like Daniel Radcliffe, people like Taron Egerton, but like it's very up in the air. I don't know if it's. I think it would be best to cast like a not famous actor for Wolverine. I think that would be the more strategic thing to do. What do you think?
I have no idea because I think Wolverine, like the public image of Wolverine has changed so much since Hugh Jackman, but like actual Wolverine from source material is kind of like a bit of a caricature, if you
Yeah.
want to put it that way, where it's like this is a concept that's not supposed to exist among like a normal population.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard to find an equivalent.
Also, like a really funny thing I want to point out is that the more movies that we have of like a specific character, the more their comic counterpart starts to look like the actor. Like Wolverine in the comics now looks like Hugh Jackman. Tony Stark looks a lot like Robert Downey Jr. Uh, Captain America looks a lot like Chris Evans. Like they all look like the actors if they played them long enough. So like, yeah. Um, yeah. Oh, one more thing I want to bring attention to. My cast for Gambit would be Austin Butler.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one.
Peak,
That's a good one.
peak.
If you if it's like too easy almost, that
Yeah.
is good. Is good.
Would he do it? I don't know, but I would love for him to do it.
Mm.
Like Channing Tatum's good. I like his dedication to the role, but physically he's not a good cast for Gambit because he's too big. He's
Yeah,
way
I
too
think
big.
Gambit has to be lean. He has to
Yes,
be agile. Has to be
lean,
fast.
slender.
Yeah.
Yes, man's got it. The one thing Channing has down is obviously the accent. I think the accent's really, really good. But yeah, you got anything else to add?
What do you think about Rogue?
Rogue? Do you mean do I have an actress for Rogue?
Yeah.
Oh, in fact I do. I have Margaret Qualley for Rogue. I think she would be a really, really good Rogue. Like her in The Substance, her in Honey Don't. All of those are Rogue audition tapes, honestly. Like it's really good. I want to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood just so that I can be like, is she a good Rogue?
I think you can try Blue Moon for that also. But like,
Oh yeah, I forgot.
yeah,
she's
literally
Blue.
5 seconds ago, I thought of like, for Rogue, I'll probably cast like Marty's girlfriend from Marty Supreme. I think
Oh
she could play
yeah,
like
I like that.
like a messier, younger Rogue. I think she would do good in that.
Oh, I really like that. That's a good shout. Oh my god. Wait, what's her name?
Odessa, Zion or something like that.
A Zion.
Or something, yeah. I think she would do good. You know, like when Rogue doesn't have her shit together yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this. This is a good man. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. I hope she can pull off the southern accent though, because that's very important as well. But yeah, I think she could do it. My only issue is that she might be. My issue with her would be the same I have with Margaret Qualley. Margaret Qualley, I think, is a bit skinny for Rogue. Like, we're talking about like physical attributes now,
Margaret
but like
Qualley's
she's a
really
bit,
tall though.
she is really
She's
tall,
really tall.
which that's why I like her for Rogue. Odessa, I think, is a bit short.
I'm not sure, but probably I guess.
Like, Timothy Chalamet is not a tall
Yeah.
tall man. Like relative to him, she's short. So relative to everyone else, she actually is short. So yeah, but that's just physical attribute, you know. Obviously, physical attributes aren't a big thing for studios to cast, which is why they picked 6'1" Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine, you know. When he should be 5'2". Yeah. You got anything else to add?
Not really. I think it's been a pretty good episode. It's nearing an hour, so.
All right. And because of that, that'll be it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked our X-Men fan cast and our Fox X-Men ranking. Leave a comment down below to let us know what your favorite X-Men movie is, who you might cast as a specific character in the future. We'd love to know. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.
Thanks.
Put your hot takes in the description below. We still need those. So, yep. And we will see you guys next week.